Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Until Dawn. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, Until Dawn. This is based off the game of the same name, a game that came out in 2015 for the PS4. The whole gist of the game is that it's a horror game, but it's a horror game with choices that you can make that determine, the fate of characters, whether they all live or they all die. It all depends on like what actions you make, what dialogue you choose, and the game utilizes the butterfly effect, and where an action you do at one point will lead to another action later on down the line. I remember seeing this game via like YouTube videos, and it was a game I wanted to play so badly for so long because it looked like so much fun. But I didn't have a PS4 at the time, so I was out of luck. But then I got the PS5, and I knew this was my chance to play it, so I bought the game. I played it twice. I had a ball. I had an absolute blast. Mainly because the game allows me to make just aggressively stupid choices with the characters. That's, any choice based game that allows me to do that is a winner in my book. So, yeah, Until Dawn is one of my favorite games, and it has a strong reputation. And I know it got a remake last year, but no one really likes the remake all that much. um, but I guess it helps keep the name like relevant in a way. So yeah, the original game, its reputation, I will label that as a pro. Another pro is that this is a video game movie, and as you probably noticed in the last few years, video game adaptations have been doing quite well for themselves. So a huge difference compared to like 10, 20 years ago, where, if you saw like a video game adaptation, you're just like, oh God, here we go again. Like, if I can to get to it, there we go. Okay, so yeah, back in the day, you had some hits, like the first Mortal Kombat movie, the first Tomb Raider movie, stuff like that. But man, you had a lot of just trash out there, just horrible movies that are just like, do a complete disservice to the source material. So yeah, that the video game curse that lasted a good 24 years, no, 26 years, going back to the very first, Super Mario Brothers movie, the live action one. That was an absolute fever dream. But starting in 2019, things changed with Detective Pikachu, which did very well financially, and it actually was received rather well. And then it led to, I guess, this renaissance, if that's what you want to call it, for video game movies, where you had like the Sonic movies doing well. You had, the Super Mario Brothers movie destroy all expectations. And recently you had a Minecraft movie, which has done hella well for itself. And even movies like, Uncharted and Five Nights at Freddy's, those have been like blockbuster hits. So, yeah, and not, I haven't even mentioned TV, where you have like Last of Us and Fallout being highly reviewed and, highly successful. So, yeah, video game movies, video game adaptations, they have never been in a better place than now. Sure, there's some misses in there, like Borderlands from last year, but yeah, it's a good time to be a video game movie, I would say. So, yeah, so I would label that as a pro. Um, I guess in terms of, are there any other pros? I can't think of too many pros, really. Other pros. No, no, none are really popping up. Well, I guess I can mention the director, David F. Sandberg. He's had an interesting career. I mean, he did Lights Out, which was a strong hit. Annabelle Creation, that was a strong hit. Shazam, which did, solid. Then he made Shazam Fury of the Gods, which was a huge bomb. The first of the DCU's four bombs of 2023. So, that's like one L to his name. But he has three W's. So his track record is still rather good. So I guess his name, I'd label that as a pro. His track record's not too terrible, even though he had Fury of the Gods to his name. But I think that's it with pros. Okay, cons. Reviews are not great for this. They're really mid. It's a 51% critic score. I mean, that's higher than average compared to a lot of other video game movies I've seen. I mean, it's not like Borderlands, where I think it was like, what, a 10%? So it's nowhere near as bad as that, but it's still not good. So yeah, its audience score is a 71%. That's not good either. Its cinema score is a C plus, which is pretty average for a horror movie. So yeah, word of mouth across the board is just not stellar at all. It's the polar opposite of Sinners. So yeah. Yeah, lackluster word of mouth across the board. I'll label that as a con. Another con is that for me, like, this is one of those adaptations and name only type of movies. Because like Until Dawn, the game, like I know what it's about, but the movie is not that at all, which I didn't expect it to be. Where like you have like a bunch of friends, but it's basically like a Groundhog Day scenario where they relive like the same day over and over and over again. Like it's a Groundhog Day, like Edge of Tomorrow, like Happy Death Day, something like that. And I mean, I guess that kind of works with like, you play a game, you die, you respawn, like from your last checkpoints, kind of like that. But it's not Until Dawn to me. It's just not. Like, Until Dawn, what made that game was this choice based system, was, the butterfly effect. That's what made the game good. So you take that away, it's just a generic horror movie. So it makes me wonder why even make this at all, right? Like, at least Fallout, was able to come up with like a strong narrative, despite the lack of like choices. And then in that show, at least that show had like a good story. This just doesn't. So yeah, just the fact that this is an adaptation in name only, that's a big old con in my opinion, and that's why it was a con for a lot of people actually. Another con is this Thursday previews. I guess I could talk about its Friday numbers too. 1 million previews. That's not great for a movie like this, especially for a movie based off like a well-received game. You think it would do like a little better than this. And its Friday numbers, 3.2 million. Oof, that's not good. Not at all. So his Thursday numbers and his Friday numbers are both weak. So that's a con. Another con is that competition, there's a lot going on. In terms of direct competition, you have Sinners, which is doing spectacular in week 2. I saw its Friday numbers. Its Friday to Friday drop was 32%. That's not normal, especially for a post-holiday Friday, because last week was like Good Friday, which boosted a lot of movies' numbers. But yeah, 32% Friday to Friday drop. That's crazy. And it's projected to hit like maybe we might see like a less than 10% drop on weekend 2. That's insane. That shows you that word of mouth for that movie, like the hype around that movie is legit. But it's not just Sinners out there. No. You got Accountant 2, you got The Revenge of the Sith re-release, both of which are projected to now hit over 20 million a piece. And then you got the Minecraft movie, which is still, making some money for itself. So you got all of that. Those 4 movies, they're drowning out everything else out there. And this is one of those movies that's, suffering because of it. So yeah, the top 4 movies this weekend and all the competition like that brings, yeah, that's a con. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, this is projected to hit like 7 million, which is pretty poor for video game adaptations. The only saving grace is that it costs like 15 mil. So it won't be a huge loss, but it's definitely a movie that shouldn't have been made, period. And its total I don't know. I don't see this having a long life. I see this getting crushed by Thunderbolts next week. So, yeah, and it'll just be a memory by the time Final Destination Bloodlines comes out because people actually want to watch that movie and not this. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna say between 15 to 20 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it was closer to 15. And that's it. That's it for the weekend. We're done with April, which was a really, really strong month. It was the month 2025 needed desperately. It was the first successful month of the whole year because January and February were meh at best. March was a train wreck, a complete catastrophe. April has been just sublime. And now we move on to May, which means the summer movie season starts. And it's going to start with a Marvel movie, traditionally, with Thunderbolts, asterisk. Well, I don't know how that'll do, but I am interested in it. So we'll see. But I might as well talk about the rest of May. May looks a whole lot better this year than it did last year, I'll tell you that much. Because you actually have a big movie coming out the first weekend of May that'll do way better than Fall Guy. May 9th, that's a weekend. That's a waste of a weekend. That's a weekend to sleep in. May 16th, you had Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm very excited to watch that because I'm a big Final Destination fan. Hurry Up Tomorrow looks interesting. The trailer kind of lured me in, so I don't know how that'll do, but I am interested in seeing it. Then May 23rd, Memorial Day, you got Lilo and Stitch, you got Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Those two movies will destroy last year's results, where you had Furiosa doing disastrous numbers, and Garfield movie did good, but not good enough to save the box office. Then May 30th, you have Karate Kid Legends and Bring Her Back, which that weekend, the year to year comparison is going to be hilarious because last year nothing came out really. So, and that weekend was like the low point of summer. This year, May 30th, it'll be like a hell of a lot better. So, May is going to continue 2025's momentum. So, that's good. That's really good. So, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year, the past few years. You want to watch any of those videos, you can go right ahead. There's also the box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. April recap will probably be around the second weekend of May, around that time. So stay tuned. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I went over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. Never talked about Until Dawn, my canceled series. But I had made 250 episodes, so if you want to binge watch that whole series from beginning to end, I highly suggest you do it, so go do it. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.